The Mojave Desert, December 1992, nightfall. Imagine you are sitting behind the wheel of a beat-up car, the engine rattling against the silence of the desert. The air conditioning is broken, the gas tank is nearing empty, but the heat you feel isn't coming from the engine. It's coming from the desperate, gnawing hunger in your stomach. You are Archie Karas, and right now, you are a ghost. Just a few days ago, you were a king in Los Angeles, sitting on a mountain of cash. But the cards turned cold, as they always do. Now you are driving toward the neon glow on the horizon, Las Vegas, with everything you own in the world tucked into your front pocket. $50. Not 50,000, not 500, just 50 bucks. A single grant. In 1992, that's enough for a tank of gas and a steak dinner. Or, if you are Archie Karas, it is the seed capital for the single most impossible, insane, and violent assault on mathematics in human history. You look at the lights of the mirage shimmering in the distance like a mirage of water for a dying man. You don't know it yet, but you are about to go on the run. In the next 36 months, you will do what no human being has ever done. You will turn that pathetic $50 bill into $40 million. You will bankrupt the best poker players on Earth. You will make casino owners sweat through their expensive suits. You will hold more cash than a small bank. But here is the cruel irony, the foreshadowing that hangs over this desert highway like a vulture. You aren't driving to Vegas to get rich. You are driving there to find your limit. Archie Karas is about to climb the highest mountain in the gambling world. He's going to touch the face of God. But he forgets one simple rule of physics that every climber knows. The higher you climb, the faster you fall. And when Archie falls, he won't just break his bones. He will shatter into 40 million pieces. Las Vegas, 1992, the pre-corporate jungle. You need to understand the battlefield before you can understand the war. Forget the sanitized, family-friendly Las Vegas you see today. Forget the choreographed fountains of the Bellagio, or the indoor canals of the Venetian. That is Disneyland for adults. The Vegas of 1992 is still breathing the smoke of the mob era. It is a place of raw, unfiltered vice. It is a city that doesn't just want your money, it wants your soul. And it will give you a free cocktail while it extracts it. And the heart of this beast isn't on the glittering strip. It's downtown. It's Binion's Horseshoe. Walk through those doors. The air is thick enough to chew. A toxic cocktail of unfiltered cigarettes, cheap perfume, and nervous sweat. There are no clocks on the walls. There are no windows. Time does not exist here. The only thing that marks the passage of time is the rhythmic clack, clack, clack of chips moving across felt tables. Binion's is where the sharks swim. It is the only place in the world that honors a sky-high limit. If your first bet is $1 million, your next bet can be $2 million. It is a place built on a simple mathematical certainty. The house always wins. Every square inch of this casino is engineered to break you. The lights are designed to keep you awake. The oxygen is pumped in to keep you alert. The carpets are patterned to disorient you. It is a machine, a perfect meat grinder for human hope. But then there is Archie Karas. To understand why this man is about to break the machine, you have to understand his philosophy. Most people gamble to win money because they fear poverty. They fear the empty fridge. They fear the eviction notice. Archie Karas? He has no fear. He grew up poor in Greece, shooting marbles for pennies. He learned a lesson that most Wall Street bankers never grasp. Money is not real. It is just a tool. It is ammunition. To Archie, a $50 chip and a $50,000 chip are exactly the same physical weight. He doesn't see a house, he sees a plastic disc. He doesn't see a future, he sees the next card. This is the anomaly. The casino is built to prey on human greed and fear. But how do you defeat a man who is terrified of neither? You don't. You just watch him burn the house down. The Shark Tank. In any other story, the man with $50 is the underdog. He is the fish. And the men sitting across the table are the fishermen. Meet the executioners. First, there is Chip Reese. In 1993, Chip Reese isn't just a poker player. He is a human supercomputer. He doesn't gamble, he invests. He is cold, calculating, and universally regarded as the best all-around cash game player on the planet. He plays poker the way a surgeon removes a tumor, without emotion, without error. Then there is Stu Unger, the Kid, a man with an IQ that breaks the scale and a self-destructive streak that rivals a nuclear bomb. He can count down a 6-deck shoe of blackjack while holding a conversation. He is a savant, a genius. And finally, Doyle Texas Dolly Brunson, the Godfather, the man who wrote the Bible of poker. These aren't just gamblers. These are the apex predators of Las Vegas. They smell Archie's money the way a great white smells blood in the water. They see a Greek immigrant on a hot streak, and they lick their lips. They have a plan. It's simple. Sit him down, let him win a few hands. Wait for the luck to fade. Then devour him. But they are making a fatal miscalculation. They are analyzing Archie with logic. They assume he values the chips in front of him. They assume that if he loses $1 million, his pulse will race, his hands will shake, and he will fold. But Archie Karas is dead inside. You cannot intimidate a man who doesn't care if he lives or dies financially. When Chip Reese loses a pot, he thinks about probability. When Archie Karas wins a pot, he says, double it. Archie isn't playing poker. He is playing Russian roulette. And he keeps pulling the trigger, laughing as the chamber clicks empty, again and again and again. The death of mathematics. The perfect plan belonged to the casinos. Casinos are built on a foundation of granite called the law of large numbers. It states that over time, luck cancels out, and the house edge always grinds you down. It is inevitable. It is gravity. Archie Karas decides to defy gravity. He obliterates the poker legends. Chip Reese beat him for $2 million. Stu Unger beat him for $1.2 million. The best players in the world stop answering their phones. The line of challengers dries up. Archie stands in the middle of the Binion's poker room, holding $17 million, screaming for action, but there is only silence. He has literally beaten the game. So the perfect plan shifts. If no human can beat him, he must fight a machine. He walks over to the craps table. Now, pause. You need to understand craps. It is a game of pure negative expectation. The dice have no memory. They have no soul. You cannot bluff a pair of dice. The math dictates that you will lose. But Archie brings the human element, or rather, the God element. He negotiates a deal that no casino in their right mind should accept. He demands to bet $100,000, then $200,000 on a single roll of the dice. The casino owner, Jack Binion, agrees. Why? Because Jack knows the math. He knows that a man betting $200,000 a roll against a house edge is walking into a wood chipper. But for 6 months, the wood chipper jams. The dice obey Archie. He rolls pass after pass after pass. The mountain of chips grows so high they have to store it in the casino's actual bank vault. Because the cage has no more room. He has every single $5,000 chip the casino owns. He has $40 million. He has more cash on hand than the casino itself. At this moment, Archie Karas isn't just winning, he is holding the Horseshoe Casino hostage. He has the money to walk away. He has the money to buy a fleet of Ferraris, an island in Greece, and retire as a legend. The plan is complete. He has won. But remember the one thing Archie doesn't have? Brakes. The free fall. Gravity is patient. Gravity waits. And in the middle of 1995, gravity finally grabbed Archie Karas by the throat. It starts with a switch. The poker players are dead broke or hiding. The craps dice have cooled off. Archie needs a new drug. He needs a faster fix. He turns his eyes to the baccarat tables. Baccarat is not a game of skill. It is a coin flip with a tuxedo on. It is pure, distilled variance. Archie sits down. He bets $300,000 per hand. Flash. The cards turn. Banker wins. $300,000 gone. Flash. Player wins. He gets it back. Flash. Banker wins. Banker wins. Banker wins. In the span of 2 weeks, the run turns into a slaughter. Imagine burning a Ferrari every hour. That is the rate of Archie's loss. He loses $11 million in a single night playing craps. He loses $17 million playing baccarat. He loses another $2 million to Chip Reese, who finally crawled back out of his hole to reclaim his dignity. The casino floor is silent. The dealers aren't cheering anymore. Even the pit bosses, men with hearts made of asphalt, are watching in horror. This isn't gambling. This is financial suicide broadcast live. Archie isn't sleeping. He isn't eating. He is just betting. He is shoveling millions of dollars into the furnace of the house edge, trying to reignite the fire that is already burned out. With his last $1 million, a sum that most people would kill for, he drives back to the poker table. A frantic last stand against Johnny Chan. He goes all in. He loses. Silence. The mountain is gone. The $40 million is gone. The vault is empty. The man who couldn't bleed. Why? That is the question that haunts every gambler who hears this story. Why didn't he stop at $30 million? Why not $20 million? Why not keep just one measly million? Here is the twist. Archie Karas didn't lose because he was stupid. He didn't lose because he was unlucky. He lost because he didn't care. The fatal mistake wasn't a bad bet or a wrong card. It was a biological defect in Archie's brain. To you and me, money represents safety. It represents food, shelter, future, pain. To Archie, money was just bullets and a gun. And he didn't want to holster the gun. He wanted to shoot until the chamber clicked empty. The irony is suffocating. The very trait that allowed him to win $40 million, his total sociopathic lack of fear, is the exact same trait that guaranteed he would lose it all. If he had feared losing, he would have stopped at $10 million. But if he feared losing, he never would have turned $50 into $10 million in the first place. He was trapped in a paradox. To be Archie Karas, he had to bet it all. And to keep the money, he had to stop being Archie Karas. So he chose himself, and he paid $40 million for the privilege. The king of nothing. It is 3 weeks later. The whirlwind has stopped. The dust has settled over the Mojave. You were sitting in a cheap diner on the outskirts of Vegas. You look over at a booth in the corner. There he is, Archie Karas. He doesn't have a gun in his mouth. He isn't weeping into a glass of whiskey. He isn't screaming at the sky. He is eating a hamburger. He has just vaporized an amount of wealth that could have built schools, hospitals, or a dynasty. He has torched the American dream in a bonfire of vanity. By all logic, he should be the most miserable man on earth. But look at his eyes. They are clear. They are calm. When a reporter asked him how he felt about losing $40 million, a fortune that exceeded the GDP of some small nations, Archie shrugged. He said, "I slept like a baby." And that is the haunting final truth of the run. You see, for 3 years, Archie Karas wasn't chasing money. He was chasing the feeling of being alive. He was chasing the electricity that only crackles when you are standing on the edge of a cliff. The money was just the scorecard, and once the game was over, the scorecard was trash. He drove into town with $50. He left with nothing. In the ledger of life, he broke even. But in the ledger of legends, he bought immortality. Most men live their lives terrified of losing what little they have. They die with their bank accounts full and their souls empty. Archie Karas died 1,000 financial deaths and lived 1,000 financial lives in the span of 36 months. He proved that you can hold the world in your palm and let it slip through your fingers, and still enjoy the taste of a cheap burger. Because in the end, you can't take the chips with you. But the story lasts forever.